Hi everybody, this is Rockin' Spirit Jen and welcome back. Today I have a great recipe for a very unusual soap that I actually thoroughly enjoy. I don't know if you're like me, but I love being the first person to open a jar of peanut butter and be the first one to take that spoonful or that knifeful out. And same thing goes with butter or anything that I open that I would make something with. I love to be the very first one in. But unlike those ingredients and those products, I actually like to use the slivers of bar soap. I have a hard time holding the bar soap when it's big and new and clunky, although it's fun to wash and be the first one to open a brand new bar soap and smell it and use it. I actually prefer that my soaps be worn down and smaller, easy to handle, thinner for hand washing, body washing, shampoo bars. I just love the smaller, thinner, just like thin crust pizza. And so today I'm going to be making soap bark. So it's going to kind of be reminiscent of like a chocolate bark, or let's say candied peanuts that you might peanut brittle. This is going to be soap bark. So with that, I'm making a little bit of decorations right now to go on them. And this is going to be out of glycerin. So I'm starting with a cute little honeybee mold. And as I shared in the last video, we are going to be using some of my honey from our very own apiary, and that's raw beekeeping. And so I've been collecting my honey and the comb, and I utilize it not only for culinary purposes, but also in my body care. So today we're going to be adding this to the glycerin soap. And the glycerin that I'm using is all natural. It's vegetarian, vegan based, so it's good for all people. So as long as you don't have any issues with glycerin. So I have a little paintbrush. I've got some micas here that I have in a little alcohol base, and I'm just going to use that to paint the inside of the bee. So we're going to do the wings in a pretty little yellow color here. And I've got this mica in just a little bit of alcohol to help disperse it in the mold. So we will paint the wings nicely with the yellow mica. Bit in the head, and then next I'll use a deeper gold bronze color just to kind of line the bee a little bit here and there, and then we'll end it with a beautiful brown for just embellishment's sake, maybe around the eyes, tip of the tail, thorax area here. There we go. And then I've got my glycerin melted here. Well, I've got my glycerin here melted nicely, and we're going to take and fill the cavity of this cute little honeybee with the glycerin. And it's rather cold in here today, so that is not going to take long to harden up. Tap that down. Alcohol, set that off and let it dry, and you can see I've got one that I've made here. It's very precious. I just trimmed that up. Let's see if we can see that. Cute little honeybee. And we'll put that on the top of the bark. So I don't need this honeybee mold. What I've done is I've taken my cookie sheet here, just a small little one, and I've used my freezer paper that has kind of a waxy coating on one side, which is the side that we're going to have up to pour glycerin so that we can peel it off nicely. So just a pair of scissors and some freezer paper. And my glycerin here is trying to harden up on me. We don't want that. We want it to be nice and fluid. Okay, so we have our glycerin nicely melted here. Ready to pour into our tray. And I'm going to take a little bit of this because I want it to have a little bit of a variegated color to it. It's going to be reminiscent to things that you would find in your garden. It has two tones in your foliage that you find in your plant. So we're going to pour some of this off. Ooh. hot. We're just gonna pour a little bit of that off and keep that on this trivet so it doesn't cool down quickly. I'm gonna add just a little bit of natural food coloring, food grade. Brighten that up. I've got a little bit of yellow mica in here. That's a beautiful color. And then to this one, I have an olive mica and a little bit of bright green mica. And same thing with the natural color. 2 of the green, 1 of the olive, and then we'll mix that up. Glycerin hardens up very quickly, it does not take long. My natural honey to this. Honey is a wonderful healing for the skin. It's great for burns. It brings blood flow to the surface of the skin to keep it dewy and rosy, and draws water from the environment into the skin, so it's a natural humectant, and it's just super, super good for body care. I'll mix that honey in there nicely. And then we're going to add a little bit of lemongrass and green tea, ground up, not powder fine though, herbs. So this is going to have a nice little plant matter inside the soap. It will help for hand washing and exfoliating, polishing the skin. Plus it's going to leach out some of those wonderful benefits from the green tea and the lemongrass, which is very soothing for the body. And then we'll add a little bit of fragrance. I'm going to add a drop of cedarwood as a woodsy with a little bit of a twang to it. Lemongrass, add 2 of those. We're going to add 1 rosemary or 2. I'm going to add some eucalyptus, 3 of those. We're going to add 1 bay. Bay is very soothing for the nervous system, very calming, puts you in a good place emotionally. And 1 of vetiver, which is a little bit of a citrus note to it, very thick. Just mix this in, it smells beautiful, it smells like a garden for sure. And now I'm going to pour, and I'm going to squirt some of this in there at the same time. Kind of like a, this is very, very hot. So we are going to pour this along. Keep pouring this over. Wonderful, wonderful bark out of it. Just going to take this spatula, I'm just going to move that around. Layer that on here. Make a beautiful this other cute little bee, and we'll just trim that up. There's a nice shape to it. Back a little bit because we don't need it to stand up too high. Just want it to be perfect to be able to lay flat into the soap. I'm going to put this in the oven on a very low temperature to continue melting the layer of glycerin. And so got that in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes at about 275. We'll take a peek at it and we'll see if it's nice and melted and smooth and even. And then I'll be back. Well, hey everybody, I'm back and I've let this cool down. Now it's solid and ready to start forming our bark and our shapes. So I'm basically going to go around the edges with a knife so that I can get this wax paper loosened up and be able to just get that out of the pan with better ease. And I'm going to need to use a spatula so I can get up underneath and kind of pry that off, because there is some seepage where the glycerin got underneath and made it a little bit difficult for easily getting out of the pan. So if I had to do this again, I would bring the freezer paper up the walls of the cookie sheet so that I would not have this situation happening. And then I would just use a knife, the back side of a knife, to get it into all the grooves so that you have really good parallel walls that are not sloping up, and you'll get a nice flat edge all the way around your glycerin. As you can see, it's just giving me a little bit of difficulty getting out of there. But no bother, what I'll do is I'll just take and peel the paper off of the back side, and whatever glycerin's on the opposite side, I will peel that off, melt it down, and make something else with it. So there'll be no waste here. Okay, so this is out of the pan. Now we've got to get the paper off the back. And so what I'm going to do is, there's a little bit of glycerin on the back side of the paper, so it has another layer under there, a little seepage. If I had to do it again, I would make sure to put the freezer paper up the walls of the tray and just use the back of the knife to get into the creases so that you've got great parallel stand-up walls, so it is not rounded on the edges. And so I'm going to work on getting this paper off the back to use the remaining bark that is on top of the paper. And there we have it. See, I'll just take that paper right there and I'll peel all of this glycerin off, and I will save and use it for another project. No waste here. I'll just melt it down, put it in a different mold, and it's all good. So I'll just put these bits and pieces inside this little cookie shaped mold, and that's probably what I'll melt it down and put it into that, and it'll give me really cute little soap. And that's what we'll do with all the rest of these. And now we're ready to fashion our soap. So we'll move this out of the way, and then we'll get these cute little cookie cutters that we can make little soap bark shapes, and then we can have some rustic shapes as well. So I'm going to take and make my first cut here. We'll just make a strip of soap. I love using these thin little ones like this for the hand. They're so nice. And let's see, we're going to take and use this cute little flower. And I think we'll put that right over the bee. And we'll do this for time. I'm going to speed this up as I cut each one out, and then I'll slow it down to show you what the shape looks like. If you had a metal cookie cutter, this would just cut right through this like butter. But because I'm using plastic, I don't want to press too hard and break the cutter, so that's why I'm using my knife just to trim around these edges. If I would have cut them a little bit cooler, I could probably do this just fine without the knife. Isn't that cute? Let's see if I can get this up there where you can see it better. Cute little flower. Translucent, you can see all the pretty little flecks in there. Just gorgeous. Nice and thin, usable soap. Now we'll start our next one. Press this out and trim it around. Beautiful little heart for Valentine's Day. Isn't that pretty? Turned out really nice. And then we'll try this other shape. And this is relatively easy. Glycerin, especially this thin, is not difficult to work with or to cut out. Super simple. Very good for your skin. A humectant also holds the moisture in the skin nicely. So little circle sphere. You can put so many great additives inside the glycerin, and it doesn't even have to be transparent. If you want to put a little zinc oxide in it or TD, then you could make it opaque and then add any other colors and flecks and micas and glitters or whatever you want to do. I like natural things with glycerin. Cute little star. Turned out way cute. Trim around this with a knife just so I can press through easier. It's cold outside. It's about 19 degrees. That's why I have my hat on, my jacket on. I've been going in and out a lot today. It's way cold. I knit that hat just to keep my head warm. Oh. Little flower with the bee on it. So cute. It's where they like to hang out. No flowers, no bees. No bees, no flowers. No bees, 85% less food in the world. So don't kill the bees. Don't be afraid of them. They're really not brutal. They don't mess with you. Don't mess with them. Just let them do their thing, and it's all good. When you see them out and about, they're just foraging. They're not looking to harm anybody. They're looking for food sources. The only time they defend themselves is at the hive. They're protecting their queen and their colony, the habitat. So that's where you want to be careful, is wherever there is a hive, then they'll see you as a threat. So you have to move very slowly. And if you ever come encounter with a bee, just stand still. It'll do its thing. It'll fly away. It's not going to sting you. The stinging happens when people are hitting and batting at the bees, making fast motion. They can feel your fear and the pheromones. So you just have to go slow and intentional and just walk away. Love the bees. It's a beautiful, beautiful little being, little insect, working as a troop and a team always. How cute. And they truly are a great gift and help to us. So I'm going to arrange these cute little soaps nicely on this little platter. And I'll show you each one, how they turned out up close. The little star, and you can see the lemongrass and green tea in there and the variegated color. Cute little glycerin honeybee hanging out on the flower. There's my little spear. And a cute little heart with a bee hanging out on it because it loves us. And we love them. Love the honey. Here's just a little rectangle bark. And a little paisley comma quote. And another little small sphere. And these are perfect at any sink side, easy to grab or just to look at. How pretty. You could just put a pile of these different shapes at your sink side. Try making these yourself, so very easy. Or you could visit my website and buy a bag of 3 or 4. Will come in a bag, and you can decorate your countertops with these as well. Soap bark. Gotta love it. And there you have it. I am so glad that you could join me. Please visit my website on Etsy. It's Rockin' Spirit or rockinspiritcreations.com. Subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up, please. I would appreciate the support. Leave a comment. Tell me what you like about glycerin soap. And I'll see you on the next video. God bless and make it a great day.
I had a home. I wish I had a home. Ribbit. Ribbit, ribbit. Hi, my name's Patrick, and I found me a new home. Love my lily pad. See me on my lily pad? I've been looking for a lily pad forever. It was so hard to find one in this house, but now I have one here hanging with my bestie bees. Oh, thank you for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. I have a home. I have a home. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit.